Send you out to Arlington, where the Oakland A's contend with the owners of the best record in the game, the AL champion Texas Rangers.
Adrian Beltre's bat has heated up with the temperatures. He and the rest of the Texas Rangers look to extend their lead in the American League West. But Josh Reddick and the A's hope to add to their winning record during the month of June. It's Baseball Night in America, coming to you live from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Third of a four-game series between the Rangers and the A's. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kenny Albert. Welcome to Baseball Night in America. Rangers have won the first two in this series. With a victory tonight, they would be the first team in all of baseball to reach 50 wins. As I welcome in my partner, Tom Verducci. Tom, Josh Hamilton sizzling in April and May, player of the month in the American League. Both months cooled off a bit in June, but his teammates have picked up the pace.
No question. This is a team that not only is the highest scoring team in baseball, I believe it's the most resourceful team. So many different ways to beat you. They have 6 pitchers on the DL. Josh Hamilton, you mentioned, only 3 home runs in June. But there's so many people who can beat you in this lineup, including Adrian Beltre, who's been Mr. Consistency, hitting over 300 every month of the season so far. But a good matchup tonight in facing Tommy Milone, the young left-hander, because I believe Milone has that one weapon you really need against a team that eats up fastballs like the Rangers. That is a terrific changeup. That's the pitch he's going to need tonight.
Milone, the first Oakland rookie pitcher to ever win 8 prior to the All-Star break. It's Baseball Night in America. Rangers and the A's coming up next from Arlington. The Texas Rangers take the field. A look at 21-year-old left-hander Martin Perez getting set to make his first Major League start. He will face the Oakland A's, who come in with a record of 37-41. Their batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Coco Crisp will lead off, followed by Jemile Weeks. Josh Reddick bats third. Then Yoenis Cespedes, Johnny Gomes in the 5th spot. Chris Carter bats 6th. Bottom of the order, Brandon Inge, Brandon Hicks, and Kurt Suzuki for manager Bob Melvin. The opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Rangers with 6 pitchers on the disabled list. So Martin Perez gets set to make his first major league start. Pitched 2/3 of an inning out of the bullpen on Wednesday against Detroit. Record of 5-5 in AAA this season. 5th year in the Rangers organization out of Venezuela. And the first pitch to Coco Crisp is low for ball 1.
First start, but they did give him a relief appearance the other night, amped up. He needs to slow it down, especially the changeup. That was in the mid-80s the other night. He really should be a few ticks lower. And he's a student of the Maddox brothers, not just Mike Maddox, the pitching coach here in Texas, but Greg Maddox, an advisor for the Rangers, worked with him in the minor leagues about being more efficient with his pitches.
Perez delivers the 1-1, and Crisp fouls it off down the right field line, now 1-2. Crisp batting just .223, does have 4 hits in 9 at-bats in this series. Rangers have won each of the first 2 games, both by 1 run, 7-6 on Thursday and 4-3 last night. The 1-2 with a fastball catches the inside corner for a called strike 3.
Terrific location on the fastball here. He needs to use both sides of the plate, and there he shows inside part of the plate on Crisp at 95 miles an hour. Great start. Obviously, first inning a key for Perez to get his feet on the ground. First major league start.
He threw 20 pitches in the 8th inning on Wednesday in the game against the Tigers, allowed 4 runs, but only 1 was earned. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Strikes out Crisp to start this game, and now Weeks takes a called strike, 0-1.
We talked about the first inning being important. I actually consider he's already thrown an inning because the Rangers had him warm up extra time in the bullpen to simulate the first inning. He's had some first inning issues in the minor league, so the plan was, all right, you need to get up to game speed in the bullpen so that you're ready to go from the first pitch on. He was out there a long time, certainly on a day like today, Kenny. It doesn't take long to get heated up. He looks like he's settled down.
You had a look at Rangers pitching coach Mike Maddox. Perez, the 10th starter sent out by the Rangers this season. That is tied for the most in the American League. Right back to the box. 2 up, 2 down for Perez here in the top of the first inning.
We talked about that bullpen session there. You see Maddox there working with him. A lot of times you'll see a guy out there take his time between pitches, and obviously he's doing that here. But it was more the length of time he spent out there. Again, had some first inning troubles in the minor leagues. They thought he went to the mound not properly warmed up. Well, the answer to that is make sure you throw plenty of pitches in the bullpen.
Perez has retired Crisp and Weeks, now facing Josh Reddick. Reddick having an outstanding year, 18 home runs. He's driven in 39 runs after spending 6 years in the Red Sox organization. He went deep in the series opener on Thursday night off Scott Feldman. A solo shot with 2 outs at the top of the first inning. Despite dropping the first 2 games in this series, the A's have out-homered the Rangers 4-0.
You wouldn't expect that, would you, between these 2 teams? Texas has found ways to win, especially the last 2 nights without home runs, and only 3 extra base hits.
Rangers had only 4 hits in the game last night. They scored all 4 of their runs in the 8th inning after falling behind 2-0.
And you see early on here with Perez, I think he's doing the smart thing with Torrealba, trusting the catcher, establishing the fastball. Does have a very good changeup, very good breaking ball, going predominantly with fastballs.
And Reddick takes the fastball for a called strike. His battery mate, Torrealba, As you take a look at his first inning numbers in AAA, Torrealba, fellow countryman, both natives of Venezuela.
Absolutely. Caught him in spring training, knows him well. When you saw those numbers, Kenny, there, it really wasn't just the first inning. He's actually here a little bit more out of necessity because, as you mentioned, all the injuries to the pitching staff. He has thrown the ball much better his past couple of starts in the minor leagues. So they are bringing up a hot pitcher, but early season he did struggle.
Payoff pitch to Reddick, and it's a fair ball into the right field corner. So extra bases for Josh Reddick. He is in with a stand-up double.
Here you'll see him get beat on a secondary pitch here, just the off-speed pitch, leaving up in the zone. Josh Reddick, doesn't matter left-handed or right-handed this season, you make a mistake, he's going to make you pay. He has turned out to be a gem for the A's to settle into the number 3 hole with power after that off-season trade from Boston.
Twelfth two-base hit of the season for Reddick. So the A's have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Yoenis Cespedes. He has killed Texas Ranger pitching this season in 6 games. 12 hits in 20 at-bats with 7 runs batted in.
You see first pitch change up there for a guy who's a dead fastball hitter on the first pitch. Also really important that Torrealba went out to the mound right before this pitch here. This is excellent execution, keeping the ball down. Just to remind the young pitcher, you've got a base open here, tough right-handed hitter at the plate, 2 outs. Make sure if he's going to hit the ball, it has to be your pitch, nothing in the zone.
Fastball missing inside, 1-1. Cespedes, native of Cuba, defected to the Dominican Republic. His mom pitched for Cuba in the 2000 Summer Olympics. Cuban softball team finished in 7th place.
I wonder if she threw batting practice to him. Underhand.
It's an excellent question. You would think she did.
Again, that's a great pitch there. That changeup down in a spot where you can get a ground ball on it. Cespedes, good job. He knows it's a pitch around situation here. Time to be patient. Look, Kenny, I think he's got tremendous plate coverage. Reminds me of Juan Gonzalez, the former Texas Ranger. Can cover both sides of the plate with power.
He already has 5 hits in this series, 5 for 8. 2-1. Now 2-2 with Reddick, the runner on second, following his 2-out double. 2 outs, top of the first inning here in Arlington. Martin Perez in his first major league start. The 2-2 to Cespedes, and he pops it into shallow left. Shortstop Andrews makes the catch, and the A's are retired. Reddick stranded on second. Kinsler, Andrews, and Josh Hamilton when we return. getting set to face the Texas Rangers for the second time this season. Rangers batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live boss. Ian Kinsler walking to the plate. He will lead off for the Rangers. He'll be followed by Elvis Andrus. Josh Hamilton bats third. Adrian Beltre in the cleanup spot. Then the designated hitter Michael Young. Nelson Cruz bats sixth. Bottom of the order, Mike Napoli, Yorvit Torrealba, and Craig Gentry for Ron Washington's Texas Rangers, who have the best record in all of baseball. 49 wins, only 29 losses. A season high 20 games over 500. The Rangers defeated Tommy Milone 4-1 right here in Arlington back on May 16th as Kinsler takes a called strike, 0-1.
You'll see a lot of those first pitch strikes. He attacks like Cliff Lee, 70% first pitch strikes. First 6 outs are key for him. Really needs to settle the game down early. His ERA in the first 2 innings is 6.30. After that, 2.71.
Milone acquired in December from the Washington Nationals in the Gio Gonzalez deal. Gonzalez with 10 wins for Washington. And you look at Malone's home road splits, Tom. He is 5-1 in Oakland with an earned run average under 1 run per game. 3-4 on the road with an ERA over 6.
Yeah, obviously the home park Coliseum is a pitcher's park, but I believe those numbers will get more in line. You see the splits there. He did pitch very well at Seattle his last time out. Again, another pitcher's park. But so far, I think too small of a sample to say that's a long-term trend.
He is not allowed to run over the last 14 innings. As we mentioned during our open, first Oakland rookie pitcher in history with 8 wins prior to the All-Star break. Payoff pitch to Kinsler. And he stays alive with Elvis Andrus waiting on deck.
Well, Milone is a premier strike thrower. You won't see too many 3-ball counts. Really a 4-pitch guy, fastball, cutter, curveball. The changeup to me is the big pitch. A lot of people look at him as a Tom Glavine type of pitcher. Not a high velocity guy, excellent control, and unflappable on the mound.
Kinsler takes a called strike 3.
Well, again, even at 3 and 2, you figure the strike zone's smaller. You have to come in. He puts this ball right on the black and gets the call. Real simple delivery, pitches from the extreme first base side of the rubber to create an angle. Excellent control pitcher.
So with 1 away, here's Elvis Andrus working on a 7-game hitting streak. Had 2 hits in 4 at-bats against Milone in that game back in mid-May. Rangers have won 4 straight, 16 of their last 20. One and one now on Andrus with Josh Hamilton waiting on deck. One from Milone, now 1 and 2.
I talked with Tommy about his control. He says he's really always had it, just a matter of refining it. Control never a problem for him. And you'll see he'll throw very few pitches, maybe just 1 or 2 in the course of a game that look like balls as soon as they leave his hand.
2 up and 2 strikeouts for Milone. As we check out the A's defensively in the outfield, Domes, Crisp, and Reddick from left to right. Carter at first, Weeks at second, Hicks at short, Inge at third. The battery of Milone and Kurt Suzuki.
So far, it's both Tommy Milone and Phil Cuzzi establishing strike zone here. Rangers will need to make an adjustment.
Ball 1 to Josh Hamilton. 24 home runs, only 3 during the month of June. And Hamilton leads all of baseball with his 69 runs batted in.
This is sort of you see the average dropping here this month. This is sort of the new Josh Hamilton taking 2 pitches here. He got himself in trouble by being overly aggressive. And last night we saw he had very long at bats, saw 21 pitches, swung only 7 times. For a guy who likes to swing early in the count, he sort of changed his MO the last few days.
1-2 from Malone. He strikes out the side at the bottom of the first inning. Kinsler, Andrus, and Hamilton all down on strikes. Game presented by Budweiser is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you've got to live Mott's. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci back in Arlington, Texas. Top of the second inning. Johnny Gomes leading off for the A's against 21-year-old left-hander Martin Perez, making his first major league start. Allowed a 2-out double off the bat of Josh Reddick in the first inning. Reddick stranded on second when Cespedes popped out to the shortstop Andrus. Gomes, Carter, and Inns for the A's here in the second against Perez. Perez missing low, now 3-0.
Sometimes it's tough enough. You're facing a young left-hander with absolutely no history against, but it's all the more difficult because of the time of day here. Check out the shadows. Background all lit up. Pitcher's mound's got a slither of light in there, and then the ball disappears on you and falls into the darkness. Very difficult time to hit. One of the harder things to do in this kind of light is to read spin on the baseball. The ball just is so dark. You see it goes light out of his hand, then turns dark.
We'll check in on the Royals and the Twins in a moment. Kansas City working on a 4-game winning streak. Payoff pitch to Gomes, and that is strikeout number 2 for Perez. Time now for a DirecTV game break. check in with Matt Vescursion. Matt.
Hey, Kenny, Josh Willingham entered play just one for his last 13, but a two-run shot early as the Twins up over the Royals trying to sweep a doubleheader. You call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Kenny and Tom in Arlington.
All right, thanks very much, Matt. Here's Chris Carter. Recalled from AAA by the A's yesterday. And went deep in last night's game at the top of the 9th inning. Sends this one to deep right field. Cruz looks up, and it's out of here. Second home run in as many games for Chris Carter. The A's take a 1-0 lead.
That's a great sign for the Oakland Athletics. Here's a guy who struggled in last 2 years when he's been called up. It felt like they called him up at the right time. He was swinging the bat well in AAA. He's carried in the last 2 nights. Watch his pitch down and away. Keeps his head down on it the whole time. Watch the head stay on the ball. Terrific follow through there. Stayed on the ball away from him. Drove it out of the park. Big time power. 6'4", 245. No questioning his power, but it looks like right now we've got a hot bat, not just a power bat, in Chris Carter.
So home runs in consecutive at-bats for Chris Carter. He hit 12 with AAA Sacramento. And for the A's, their 5th home run in this series.
Yeah, they're kind of split personalities here. They switched personalities, rather. Rangers yet to hit one.
The 0-1 to Brandon Inge, who was placed on waivers by the Tigers after 11+ seasons in Detroit, over 1,400 games as a member of the Tigers.
See the breaking ball there from Perez. Nothing wrong with his stuff. He's got big league stuff. There's no question about that. One of the top prospects, if not the top pitching prospect in the Rangers system, and it is a loaded system.
Fastball missing inside. Now 2-2 on Inge.
You know, Ken, you see the age at 21, and you think, all right, this kid's getting forced up to the big leagues. Maybe not ready, but they signed him at 16. He has almost 500 minor league innings under his belt.
Adrian Beltre fires across. Inge is retired for out number 2 as we take a look at tonight's 4 keys to the game.
Yeah, for me, you talk about the keys to this game for Oakland. It's all about getting the game to the USC connection, starting with Tommy Milone, ending with Ryan Cook, their great closer. For the Rangers, think small to win big. They've done that the last couple of nights. They made the most with a few hits, base running especially. I think they're the most aggressive base running team in baseball, so they don't need the home run to beat you.
With 2 away, here's Brandon Hicks, and he takes strike 1. You had to look at a fellow who knows a thing or two about pitching.
Nolan Ryan, you talk about young phenoms. He was in the big leagues the year after he was drafted. At 19 years old, threw more than 200 innings.
Wow.
A year out of high school. First year out of high school. You try that these days, you'll get fired. There's that changeup there. You see it 80 miles an hour. I believe when he's at his best, when he slows down that changeup, he's thrown a couple 83, 84, but you're going to get a lot of swings and misses at 80, coming off a 95 fastball.
Now 2-2 on Hicks, who was born in Houston, attended Texas A&M, recalled by the A's last Saturday. Fastball missing inside, and the count is full. Kurt Suzuki waiting on deck should Hicks reach.
lot of confidence in the breaking ball there. You see Kenny 3-2, bases empty, 2 outs. He's not going to give in and just give him a fastball down the middle.
Hicks gets the bat on it. Here's Beltre. And that will do it for the A's in the second, but they take a 1-0 lead as Chris Carter goes deep for the second consecutive game. 1-0 Oakland, middle of the second. Presented by Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling. It is certainly summer here in Arlington. Temperatures in the high 90s at game time.
That's hitters' weather, Kenny. Hitters love this weather, especially here in Texas where the ball jumps to the alleys.
Well, the Rangers hitters did not like it in the first inning as Malone struck out the side on 15 pitches. Adrian Beltre leading off here in the second. Beltre 0 for 7 in this series. But he took Malone deep back on May 16th.
Yeah, I think this is the most difficult out for Malone in this lineup. I think Beltre is the best low ball hitter in this lineup, and that's Tommy Malone's strength, is to keep the ball down. We see those classic swings sometimes from Beltre where he hits the ball out of the park falling on his knee. It's because he really does drive his back knee into the ball and just kind of completes it after contact. Makes him such a great low ball hitter.
Beltre batting .325, third in the American League. He's third in the league in hits. Batting .351 here at home.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect Tommy Malone to all of a sudden say, okay, I'm going to try to pitch 4 seamers up in the zone here. He's going to work the ball in and out and change speeds. But still keep the ball down.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Michael Young waiting on deck. A's with a 1-0 lead on Chris Carter's second home run in as many games here in Arlington. Beltre sends this one to deep right field. We are tied at 1. He does it again off Tommy Malone.
Did it exactly the same way. Again, strength against strength with Malone going down and away, but we talked about it. Beltre, a fantastic low ball hitter, and obviously can hit the ball out of the park to any field. probably where he wants it. You see Suzuki actually start to catch this ball. Watch the glove actually hits the ground. It's so low. But again, the way that Beltre drives that back leg into the ball and down through the baseball. See how low his back knee gets? Completes the follow through, drives the ball out of the ballpark.
14th of the year for Beltre and the first Texas home run in this series.
Well, you do get the feeling that the ball is jumping tonight with this heat in this ballpark.
3 base hits in the game, a double and 2 home runs. Michael Young 2 for 6 in this series, behind in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, you don't see any change in demeanor from Tommy Milone. Home run, okay, back to work, jumps ahead once again. First pick, strike, follows that up with another strike. Really, you can't tell the score on the face of Tommy Milone at any point, winning or losing.
That is strikeout number 4 for Malone. He's faced 5 batters. Beltre took him deep and he struck out the other 4.
We talked about this matchup, Beltre on Malone. Here's the home run this inning. Pitch that's out of the strike zone, a good pitcher's pitch. Better job by the hitter. And here's the pitch from earlier this year. Similar location, a little bit more up. See that back knee drop. Same result, home run right field.
With 1 away, here's Nelson Cruz, who will turn 32 years of age tomorrow. Cruz spent 4 seasons in the A's system, 2001 through 2004, but never played a game for Oakland. Malone missing inside, now 2-1. Chris Carter with a home run for the A's in the top of the 2nd inning. Adrian Beltre answering for Texas here in the bottom half.
And we talked about the hitters fighting the sun. Johnny Gomes, a left fielder, looking right into the sun. Interesting that Yoenis Cespedes, better left fielder, although not out in the field today. He's the DH. Talked to Bob Melvin about that. The heat in Texas is going to cause you to give some players a rest, and as the DH, you can take a half a day off.
Right field off the bat of Cruz. And Reddick makes the catch on the warning track for out number 2.
That is 7th, the first baseman, number 25, Mike Napoli.
So with 2 away, here's Mike Napoli. Napoli leading American League catchers in All-Star voting. All-Star rosters will be announced tomorrow. Ron Washington, of course, will manage the American League for the 2nd consecutive All-Star game. And he will be joined in the American League dugout by the A's manager Bob Melvin, who was named along with Ned Yost, Royals manager, by Ron Washington, to the coaching staff.
We talked to Bob Melvin. He was excited about that. The opportunity as a Bay Area kid growing up to wear the green and gold at the All-Star game in Kansas City. He had to put those vacation plans for a couple of days away, but doing so very gladly. Very happy that Ron Washington chose him. Can't wait for these final results, Ken. It's going to be really interesting. Third base, you got Beltre and Miguel Cabrera. That's a tough choice. Beltre the leader at the moment.
We will find out tomorrow, and we expect there will be a number of Texas Rangers on hand in Kansas City.
Well, they do draw well here, but the Rangers, it's not, to me, it's not just about their home attendance. I think they've really become a national team. And they'll tell you, when they go on the road, you see a good turnout of Rangers gear in the stands.
Back-to-back trips to the World Series as Napoli flies out to Crisp in center. Rangers tie the score. Beltre goes deep. We'll return after these messages from your local Fox station. America, Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci. Rangers and A's are tied at 1 as Kurt Suzuki will lead off for Oakland here in the top of the third inning against 21-year-old left-hander Martin Perez, making his first major league start. And the first pitch to Suzuki, fastball in for a called strike. 0-1. Matt Harrison is tied for the American League lead with David Price with 11 wins apiece. And Matt joins us live from the Rangers dugout. Here's the 0-1 to Suzuki. Now 0-2. Matt, another win last night. You've now won your last 7 decisions. And the big question is, did you make any plans during the All-Star break that you might have to cancel?
I do have plans to go back to North Carolina with my wife and daughter. And, it would be an honor to go to the All-Star game. But, right now I'm just focused on my next start against Chicago. And if it happens, it happens. I'll be ready to go.
Well, Matt, I'm curious how you feel today. That game you pitched last night, knowing the bullpen was a little bit short. Took the game into the 8th inning, threw over 120 pitches. How do you feel after a game like that, especially in the heat last night?
It definitely takes a toll on your body. You're definitely pretty stiff the next day. But, we have the training staff here and the strength coach that make sure we get back and get prepared for our next start.
2-2 now on Suzuki. Matt Harrison, the first Ranger pitcher to win 11 games prior to the All-Star break since Kenny Rogers did it back in 2004. As Suzuki knocks this one into center field, and the catch is made by Gentry for out number one. Now, Matt, you came over in that Mark Teixeira deal from Atlanta back in July of 2007, and that's a deal that has certainly paid dividends for the Texas Rangers.
It definitely has. I mean, it took me a little longer to, get where I am now, but I've learned from a lot of experience, and they gave me the opportunity after the opportunity to be a consistent starter here. And you see what Feliz has done as he was a closer. Now he's starting. Fortunately, he's on the DL right now, and we're ready to have him back. But he's been lights out. And what Elvis has done on the field, I mean, you see the guy that's got unbelievable range, and he's a great teammate, and it's a lot of fun to watch him play.
Well, Matt, you talked about the learning curve that major league pitchers go through. Tell us, what are the things specifically that you've learned that you're applying this year?
I think the biggest thing has just been my mental preparation for a start, and I've been doing a lot of work with Don Kalkstein, our team psychologist, and he's really got me on a plan where I have my mental routine when I'm before my start and between inning stuff and on the mound stuff. So I have a set routine that I do, throughout the game, and most of the time, the last 7 starts, I've been able to maintain that, and it's got me out of a lot of jams.
Well, I'm going to ask you to play pitching coach now. Tell me what you see out of Martin Perez. You saw him in spring training. What you see out of him so far tonight?
I mean, the kid's got great stuff. He's only 21, and he's just getting his feet wet. Not a lot of time in the minor leagues, and with the guys going down, we've brought him in to come in here and fill a spot, and I see him doing a great job and being here for a long time. And I think it's just a matter of him getting that experience, and the guy, he's up there throwing 94, 95 from the left side, and got a great command of his changeup and his curveball.
He struck out crisp for the second time tonight, so Weeks at the plate with 2 outs. Weeks bounced back to Perez his first time up. And Matt, how about your thoughts on another teammate, 10-game winner Yu Darvish in his rookie season?
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. You've heard all the hype, and he's just done nothing but produce with what we've heard about him. So he's going out there, he's getting deep in the games, he's giving the team a chance to win, and the guy's piling up those strikeouts. So he's a lot of fun to watch, and not only that, he's a great guy in the clubhouse. He's always eager to learn new things and learn a new language, and he wants to be close to the other guys.
Well, Matt, we can talk all day about Texas pitching, and that's something people didn't do a few years ago. They talked about this place being a hitter's ballpark, Rangers being built on hitting. How about the transition now under pitching coach Mike Maddox to become a team that really has become pitching dominant?
He's done a great job with us. Not only him, it starts from the top with Nolan, and bringing pieces in like that with Mike Maddox and now Greg Maddox, and he's working through the minor league systems right now. But Mike, he definitely makes sure we're prepared for each start, and he does a great job of looking at video and giving us a guideline to go with. And not only that, he's a big guy on trying new things. So when you're down there in the bullpen, you have 3 or 4 pitches, whatever it is, but he wants you to be able to use them both sides of the plate and try it out and see if it works for you. If not, move on.
Base hit up the middle off the bat of Weeks as we continue to chat with the 11-game winner, Matt Harrison. Matt, you mentioned Nolan Ryan. How hands-on has he been with you, if at all?
He set me down one time last year. It was a little intimidating being in a room by myself with him, a man of his stature. So he basically was just telling me I had a little rough patch last year where I was getting beat early in the game and not getting deep in the ball games. And he said, look, we got you here for a reason, and we want you to get deeper in the ball games, but you got to do a better job getting ahead of guys and being more aggressive and to show them that you're in control of the game.
A 2-out base runner for the A's. Josh Reddick at the plate, doubled into the right field corner back in the first inning. Well, Matt, congratulations on your success so far this season. Best of luck. Hopefully you'll be heading to Kansas City for the All-Star game, and we thank you for joining us on the broadcast.
All right, thanks for having me.
Matt Harrison tied with David Price for the American League lead with 11 wins on June 30th. It is a former Texas Ranger, Tom, R.A. Dickey, who leads the National League in all of baseball, won for the 12th time last night for the New York Mets out in Los Angeles.
You hinting at a possible starting pitching matchup right there?
Perhaps.
Could be. Both certainly deserving candidates. There's a few good choices.
Our Twitter poll question: should Matt Harrison of the Rangers start for the American League in the All-Star game? Tweet your vote to MLB on Fox. Reddick rips one right into the glove of Napoli, playing first base tonight for the Rangers. Middle of the third. 2 home runs. Carter, Beltran, tied at 1. Nice grab by Napoli. Rangers and A's tied at 1. Yorvit Torrealba leading off against Tommy Malone. Torrealba takes strike 1. He'll be followed by Gentry and Kinsler here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Gee whiz, strike 1, huh? That's 6 out of 8.
Malone already with 4 strikeouts over the first 2 innings. His career high in a game is 6.
Yeah, not typically a strikeout pitcher, but he's got all pitches working so far. I'm curious to see when the Rangers adjust and become more aggressive early in the count. If you're waiting for him to lose the strike zone and start putting people on base via the walk, you'll be waiting all night.
Two and 2 on Torrealba. Left field, Gomes shielding the sun, and it's the shortstop Hicks who makes the catch for out number 1. We check in with Matt Vasgersian, a DirecTV game break. What's going on with the Tigers and the Rays, Matt?
Oh, bad news for the Rays, Kenny. AL Rookie of the Year Jeremy Hellickson's first start since coming off the DL with shoulder inflammation takes a comebacker from Prince Fielder and would have to come out of the game. J.P. Howell is on in relief. We'll keep you posted. Call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Back to Kenny and Tom.
Similar, Tom, to the Andy Pettit incident earlier this week.
Yeah, it's really nothing you can do. It's self-defense, reaction, just didn't have time to get out of there. Pettit's a guy who got hit a lot in his career. Alex, that's a surprise. He seems to be in good position on the follow-through.
Pettit suffered a broken ankle, expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Just turned 40 earlier this month.
But the same day you put CC Sabathia and Andy Pettit on the DL.
Freddie Garcia back in the Yankees starting rotation. Rookie Adam Warren got knocked around last night by the White Sox. Yankees used a position player, Dwayne Wise, recorded the last 2 outs in the 9th inning.
And they're a team that doesn't like to do that historically.
They had not done it in a home game in 44 years. Ground ball to the shortstop. Hicks. He bobbles it and then recovers to retire Gentry.
Well, he didn't mean to do it, but it looked entertaining. Key here is that there's no panic involved once this ball hops out of his glove. See him, one hand hits the heel of the glove, goes right up, reaches, misses, reaches, gets it. And has the arm strength to get Gentry, who's one of the faster runners in all of baseball, from the right-hand side.
So 2 away. Here's Kinsler. Kinsler called out on strikes back in the 1st inning. Malone has retired 8 of the first 9 Rangers in this game. The only blemish, the Beltre home run leading off the 2nd inning. And remember, it was Beltre who took Malone deep right here back in mid-May.
Getting back, you talked about the Yankees using a position player. No team wants to do that. The Yankees historically have stayed away from it. I think you said Gene Michael was the last Yankee position player to take the mound at Yankee Stadium. Gene Michael had a great arm. I remember him as a coach. He would try to throw the ball completely out of Municipal Stadium in Cleveland and succeed. And if you remember old Cleveland Municipal Stadium, the place was gigantic.
And if I'm not mistaken, in that game 44 years ago, Gene Michael pitched 3 innings.
That's pretty impressive right there. Be prepared for anything. Change up right there once again. Not giving in, complete confidence in his off-speed stuff. He knows this is a fastball hitting team. But with Tommy Malone, no such thing as an obvious fastball count. He's going to go inside with the heater here.
It's the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Kinsler, and for the 2nd time, he is called out on strikes. 5th strikeout through the first 3 innings for Tommy Malone.
Same pitch he got him first time. Fastball down and in.
game presented by Budweiser is sponsored by Ford. Go further. Back at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Texas Rangers, Oakland A's tied at 1. A pair of long balls. Chris Carter for the A's. Top of the second inning. Adrian Beltre for the Rangers. And the bottom of the second as Cespedes leads off and takes a called strike from 21-year-old Martin Perez. Cespedes popped out to short his first time up. Middle of the order for the A's. Cespedes, Gomes, and Carter.
And that was the second time in a row he started Cespedes with a changeup on the first pitch. I don't know if he knows the exact numbers, but he knows he's a first ball fastball hitter. 10 for 19 this year, Cespedes is, when he puts the first pitch into play.
Third pitch from Perez. Missing low and inside. Now 2-1.
See those numbers. Texas still trying to figure out how to get this guy out. Back in the day, it was always Vladimir Guerrero used to wear out the Rangers, especially in this ballpark. Some similarities with Cespedes. So far, whatever they're doing has not worked.
Full count.
How about a 3-1 changeup? Talk about two left-handed pitchers. A lot of times you talk about pitchers and their landing foot a lot of times can be problematic when you have a longer stride pitcher. We'll take a look at this in a bit, but Perez is very comfortable out there on the mound. Both Perez and Malone really not taking a lot of time in between pitches. Trust the catcher, take the ball, and go. See if he goes back off speed here at 3-2.
Beltre. 1 out.
And I mentioned the landing foot. A lot of times you have a similar pitcher. They'll share the same landing hole. Could be problematic. Not these two guys. The pitching rubber is 24 inches. You can use any part of it. Malone likes to use the first base side. Look where his foot lands. He's a cross-body thrower. And then you see Perez nowhere near him. So they don't have any trouble sharing the same landing spot. Look at the difference there. 24-inch rubber. The difference in the landing spot, just about the same. One from the third base side, one from the first base side.
With 1 out, it's Johnny Gomes. Struck out his first time up. Story for the A's time this season has been pitching. Look at their offensive numbers. Team batting average of .225, last in all of baseball, last in the American League in runs and hits.
They as well have had to battle through some injuries with Bartolo Colon and Brandon McCarthy on the DL currently. Young Tommy Malone actually has the most career wins out of any of the Oakland starters right now with 20.
Wow.
With 9 wins. The whole staff has 20 combined career wins.
Yet the A's are second in the league in earned run average.
Done a great job, and to me the most impressive thing is to see young pitchers like Malone and Jared Parker and A.J. Griffin we saw last night be strike throwers. A lot of times you have to live with some control issues with young pitching. Quite the opposite in Oakland.
Payoff pitch to Gomes, and he strikes out for the second time tonight. Fourth strikeout for Martin Perez. Well, All-Star Game festivities begin tomorrow with the selection show on TBS. Then on July 9th, don't miss the Home Run Derby on ESPN. And on Tuesday, July 10th, see the players arrive on the Red Carpet Show on MLB Network, followed by the 2012 All-Star Game right here on Fox, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. With two away, here's Carter, who took Perez deep back in the second inning, giving Oakland a 1-0 lead. Tom, you talk about these young left-handers. Perez, 21 years of age, Malone, 25. So far in this game, a combined no walks, 9 strikeouts.
Just very impressive. To me, the impressive part is the changing of speeds by both pitchers. You know, obviously, Perez is going to run it up there at 94, 95, a little more velocity to work off of.
Carter with his second base hit of the game. His second extra base hit of the game as it rolls to the wall. And Carter is in with a stand-up double. So Carter called up yesterday from Sacramento in his last 3 at-bats. Has 2 home runs and a 2-base hit.
Yeah, 3 hits, 3 extra base hits in a row. Home run to left field, home run to right field, and now a double to center field. He's just on everything. Look at that very compact swing for a big guy, Kenny. Not a lot of movement there at all. We talked about how still he kept his head on the ball on the home run. Same thing there. It's impressive to see when you got a guy with that kind of power, 6'4", 245. Doesn't have a whole lot of moving parts in the swing.
Originally drafted by the White Sox, traded to the Diamondbacks straight up for Carlos Quentin, and then less than 2 weeks later became a member of the A's organization in the Dan Herron deal. Fastball. Brandon Inge takes ball 1.
That first base job in Oakland is there for the taking. They've run 20 different players, or rather 12 different players through the first base position over the last 2 years. And Carter's going to get a run here, especially against left-handed pitching.
Pitch gets away from Torrealba, so Carter advancing to third.
Like a changeup, he just hung on a little too long, bounced in front of the plate. That's always a difficult call for a catcher there. When the ball bounces in front of the plate, which way it's going to go. It's kind of a first baseman. You talk about those in-between hops. It's sort of an in-between bounce for a catcher when it lands in front of the plate.
So Carter now 90 feet away following the wild pitch. Two-0 to Inge, and it's ripped into left field for a base hit. Carter scores easily. 36th run batted in for Brandon Inge. The A's are back on top. They lead 2-1.
Well, that changeup has been his go-to pitch, even at 2-0. But that's a one he left up. Maybe that's a consequence of bouncing the previous one. Certainly doesn't want to bounce one with the runner on third base. That would cost him a run. Made sure he kept it up, and that was up too much. Inge took advantage.
How about this time? Inge has more runs batted in than base hits this season. 36 RBIs, 35 base hits.
Well, it's been a rough go for him lately. Last 14 games, just 1 extra base hit. Timely single right there.
And now Hicks pops it up to the right side into the second row. No play for Mike Napoli. Perez retired the first 2 A's here in the top of the 4th inning. But then Carter with a double to the wall in center moved to third on a wild pitch. Driven home by Brandon Inge. So Chris Carter has scored both runs for the A's in tonight's game. One to Hicks. Foul back, 0-2. Hicks making the start at shortstop. I mentioned earlier, out of Texas A&M. Cliff Pennington has the night off.
He's going to keep throwing that changeup. He got Hicks out first time on the ground ball, had him out in front of the changeup. That was well executed at 0-2. Certainly wanted the ball in the dirt with the count in his favor.
Two balls, two strikes.
He doubled up on it.
Here's Brandon Inge. She drove in the go-ahead run. Inge had been just 2 for his last 20. 2-2 to Hicks. Perez missing inside with the fastball. The count is full.
That was a pitch that he wanted. Torrealba wanted as well. See him frame this pitch right on the inside corner, maybe off the plate. Put it right where he wanted. Didn't get the call.
This will be pitch number 27 this inning by Perez. It bounces in the dirt. Ball 4. First walk in the game. So the A's now with runners on first and second and 2 outs for the number 9 hitter, Kurt Suzuki, as pitching coach Mike Maddox heads to the mound.
Well, Maddox is out there to settle him down. As you mentioned, he's deep into an inning now in terms of number of pitches. Give a chance to catch his breath here, but I also think he has to remind him to trust that fastball. He's really relied on the changeup in this game, and with good reason. He's got a good one. But you see him down on the order relying on that changeup. Even there, that last one bouncing the ball. His fastball is good enough to use and pitch off of the fastball. It seems like he's pitching off the changeup.
First major league start for Perez. Well, next Saturday on Baseball Night in America, Twins will be here in Arlington to take on the Rangers. Yankees travel to Boston to meet the Red Sox, or the Braves square off against the Phillies. Baseball Night in America, presented by Budweiser, begins next Saturday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Fox. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area. 2 on, 2 out. Suzuki takes ball 1. He flied to center his first time up. Remember, Perez retired the first 2 A's in this inning, Cespedes and Gomes. But then Carter doubled, moved to third on a wild pitch, driven home by Inge. And then the Hicks walk. And the inning finally comes to an end. But the A's regain the lead. Middle of the 4th here at Arlington, 2-1 Oakland.
Field right now, but I'd just like to wish everyone back home a happy 4th of July and go Rangers. Hometown, Arlington, Texas. I'm currently at Bagram Airfield right now. I'd just like to wish everyone back home a happy 4th of July and go Rangers.
And from our crew, a happy 4th of July to all of the troops overseas and all of our viewers. We welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching tonight's telecast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do, and we hope you are enjoying tonight's game. Tommy Malone and the A's leading the Rangers 2-1. Andrews, Hamilton, and Beltre for Texas here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Malone has allowed only one base runner, and that was Adrian Beltre, who took him deep back in the 2nd.
See the shadows now, really not too much of a problem, darkening up the background as well.
Ripped into the left field corner by Elvis Andrus. He is in at second with a stand-up double, leading things off for the Rangers here in the 4th.
You know, they tell you, right, stay out of the sun when it's this hot. They got the memo in the Oakland bullpen there. That's a homemade contraption. It's a little reminiscent of little Frank Lloyd Wright, little Frank Geary, maybe a little Jerry Blevins built into that construction.
I have my money on Blevins.
Yeah. See that 2x4 there holding it up? There's some engineering major out there.
Talk about creativity. Nice job by the A's out in the pen. Josh Hamilton struck out his first time up. Leadoff double off the bat of Andrews here in the 4th. There have now been 7 base hits in this game. 5 of the 7 have gone for extra bases. 3 doubles, 2 home runs. I think Josh is happy that the calendar will turn tomorrow.
Got one more day to get through.
And 1 extra second tonight, Tom. Not sure if you were aware, but scientists will add a leap second tonight, 1 second before midnight, in order to adjust for the wiggle of the Earth on its axis.
Wait a second. We wiggle?
Apparently you do.
I'm not going to sleep tonight, not even with that extra second.
What will you do with that extra second?
I'll be awake worrying.
Crew Chief Jerry Davis down at 3rd.
And you? You have big plans, I presume?
Huge.
You've had this marked on your calendar, haven't you?
It will take place at 11:59 and 59 seconds. Look at the umpire and crew. Phil Cuzzy behind the plate. Manny Gonzalez at 1st. Greg Gibson at 2nd. Jerry Davis, the crew chief, at 3rd. (3-1) to Hamilton. The count is now full. Beltre on deck. He took Malone deep back in the 2nd inning. Payoff pitch to Hamilton. Josh Hamilton, the American League Player of the Month in April. The American League Player of the Month in May. No doubt that he will head to his 5th consecutive All-Star game.
And we talked about his increased selectivity the last few days. Certainly another long at bat for Josh Hamilton, who loves to swing the bat early in the count, but not the last few days.
Left field, moving to his right, Gomes. So Hamilton now 0 for 2.
Yeah, real good battle here, Malone and Hamilton. Tommy Malone doesn't care for the base open. He's still going to attack. See this inside there. All the fastballs that he throws in the sequence have a little cut on it. Nothing straight. Mixes in the breaking ball right there, but pretty much predominantly with cutters to Josh Hamilton. Once again, I think the difficulty here, you see the last pitch, a cutter moving away from him, is that even when Tommy Malone misses, it's just barely off the plate. So you have to stay in on every pitch. There's nothing that you can rule out straight out of the hand. Just a very impressive strike thrower for such a young pitcher.
So now it's Beltre, who's taken Malone deep twice in 4 at-bats this season. Andrews goes. Throw down to third is in time. So Andrews thrown out, attempting to steal third base.
Tommy Malone holds runners on very well at first base. Very good move. But here you watch him. He's pretty quick home with runner on second. Elvis Andrews is a great base stealer at third base. And you better make this base. You need to be 99.9% sure you can get to third base right there. A terrific throw by Suzuki.
When we spoke with Ron Washington earlier, he reminded us about his philosophy, his aggressive style of baseball. He said he developed in the Kansas City and Dodger organizations as a young player and will never stop being aggressive as a manager.
I think that's a great point. Nor does he ever discourage aggressiveness from his players. In other words, Elvis Andrews gets thrown out. That's the cost of being aggressive.
And now Beltre with a base hit into left center. Second hit of the game for Adrian Beltre. Rangers have a 2-out base runner.
Once again, great low ball hitter. Tommy Malone at 0-2 tries to get that pitch down, and going to try something else next time. Down and away is not working against this guy. Look at him hook this ball. Ball's probably a ball off the plate again, just barely. Strength against strength. That's ownership right now. Adrian Beltre against Tommy Malone.
Career .600 batting average against Malone, now 3 for 5.
With damage.
Now Michael Young struck out his first time up. Swings at the first pitch. Hicks with the flip to Weeks. And the Rangers are retired in the 4th. All night in America, presented by Budweiser from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, Texas. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci, A's with a 2-1 lead over the Rangers. Coco Crisp on the first pitch of the inning flies out to Nelson Cruz in right field. One away. Crisp now 0 for 3.
It's good news for Martin Perez coming off of that 29-pitch inning. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th.
85 pitches thrown by Perez through 4 in his first major league start. Weeks 1 for 2, singled up the middle his last time up. Takes the first pitch from Perez, 0-1.
Saw Mike Napoli at first base, rolled up a little bit there. Now he's going to drop back with 1 strike. I think in this situation, both Crisp and Weeks are bunt threats. And the way Perez follows through towards the third base side, the play for Weeks, if he's going to bunt, is to push something towards the right side. Not towards Beltre at third, but towards the right side.
Perez allowed a solo home run in the 2nd. Another run with 2 outs in the 4th.
And Kenny, we saw ever since Mike Maddox came out to the mound to talk to Martin Perez, he's really established that fastball. Got out of the last inning with 2 fastballs, attacking Weeks here with fastballs.
On the ground to the right side. Nice play by Kinsler. Quickly 2 away. Well, this July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer as baseball's greatest stars battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. And when we met with Ron Washington earlier today, I brought up the subject of home field. Washington, of course, managed the American League All-Stars last year. They lost to the National League 5-1. Rangers make it back to the World Series, take a 3-2 lead, and then lose Game 6 and Game 7 in Texas. And Ron Washington said to us, Tom, it's the World Series. I don't care where the games are. The only difference to me was the St. Louis pinch hitters were used to doing what they had done all year long, and our guys were not.
Yeah, I understand where he's coming from. But to me, there's no discounting having home field advantage, especially in the World Series. No visiting team has won a Game 7 in the World Series since 1979. The Pittsburgh Pirates did it. It's a long time. It's obviously a huge advantage. You have the lead late in extra innings with the 9th inning. You don't have to defend a lead scoring in your last at bat. So I understand his thinking. He feels like his team can beat and play anybody, anywhere. They'll play in the parking lot here if they have to. But it still comes down to, logically, you do want that home field advantage, especially in a Game 7 situation.
Absolutely. He told us he did mention it to the All-Stars during their team meeting prior to the game last year. He'll mention it again on July 10th in Kansas City.
Now, I really think it's a big deal. Personally, I like the fact that they do play for something at that game, something that does have value. There's no question about it. I think when you watch the All-Star game now, especially the late innings, there's guys on the top rail of the dugout paying attention to the game. That didn't happen 10 or 15 years ago. A lot of guys were out of the ballpark physically. When they're taken out of the game early, they left the premises. And now you have teams invested in the outcome of the game.
Especially players on teams who have a legitimate shot to make it to the postseason.
No question.
And with the extra wild card this year, there will be even more teams involved in each league.
That's a great point. You think about it. I think last time I checked, 23 of the 30 teams stood within 5 games of a playoff spot. So yes, you get to Kansas City, there is a lot of vested parties in the outcome of that game.
Reddick down on strike, slams the bat. 5th strikeout for Perez. A 1-2-3 fifth for the 21-year-old. Sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball in cities and towns across the country. Want one of those, Tom?
Wow. That'll take care of 3 square meals for a week.
And then some. Bottom of the 5th inning with the A's leading 2-1. Nelson Cruz will be followed by Mike Napoli and Yorvit Torrealba. Cruz flat out to the warning track in right field. His first time up. As we are joined live from the A's dugout by 23-year-old right-hander Jared Parker. There's Jared, record of 4-3 this season. And Jared, you faced these Texas Rangers at home back on June 4th, and you hit them through 7 innings. As the ball is knocked down by Inge, and he recovers, but Cruz beats the throw. So the leadoff man is on for the Rangers here in the 5th. Jared, what was the secret to your success in that game against Texas?
I got some early run support, and it kind of helped me settle in. And honestly, I was just trying to throw the ball over the plate. And as the game got going, I was throwing strikes and making pitches, but it was, I realized it in the 5th inning, and then it was kind of trying to no-hit him at that point. But early run support was big for me.
So the ball kind of handcuffed Brandon Inge, took a little tricky hop at the end, and he couldn't handle it. Jared, I want to ask you about some of the matchups you've had this year. You've gone up against Tim Lincecum, Trevor Cahill, Jared Weaver, Justin Verlander, Ricky Romero. I know you're not actually facing them in the batter's box.
Napoli rips one into left field. On his way to third is Cruz. So the Rangers with runners on the corners and nobody out.
But when you do go up against a great pitcher such as those I just mentioned, how does it change your approach at all?
It does. I have to, make sure I'm on my game because, they're bringing it every time out. It's something where it's kind of helped me to raise the level of competition and really get after it.
And I'm sure you've received a lot of advice first time around here in the major leagues. What are some of the things that have stuck with you that you've learned early on?
Early I've tried to follow Zook as much as I can. He knows what he's doing behind the plate. He's faced these guys for years, and it's something where I've rarely shaken him off in a game, and I just trust him and try to relax as much as I can. And he keeps me calm out there, and it's something where when I'm relaxed and making pitches is when I'm at my best.
Yorvit Torrealba takes a called strike as we chat with Jared Parker from the A's dugout. Jared, over your first 13 starts, 9 times you've allowed 1 or fewer runs since 1918. The only other pitcher to do that, Dwight Gooden. Has anybody told you that over the last week or so?
Yeah, actually, someone mentioned it to me. A couple of people, actually, the media said something to me after the start in Seattle, and had a high school coach that really follows me, and he knows a lot about baseball, and he actually mentioned it. I never really thought of it until that point.
You're probably too young to remember Dwight Gooden, right?
I remember him. Not like it wasn't a main. He wasn't throwing when I was watching baseball, but it was something that I came up with people that knew him, and a lot of people have watched him play, and now knowing that stats compared to me, it's something I take pretty straight for me.
Also pretty good company, obviously. Now your first round pick of the Diamondbacks back in 2007. Go through the Tommy John surgery, missed the 2010 season. Appeared in 1 game with the Diamondbacks last year. What went through your mind when you learned about the trade to the A's?
I was surprised. It's something that it. There's always a chance that it can happen, and caught in this play, but there's always a chance that it could happen, and obviously it's part of the game. And I was surprised, but at the same time, I knew it was a great opportunity. And when a team makes a trade for you, that they really want you, and they're willing to give up guys for you, and I think it meant a lot.
Jared, I wanted to ask you about, we've seen the road and home splits for Tommy Milone. They're extreme for the first half of the season. Yours not quite as extreme. But does the pitching staff have to go through transition periods when you're not at home in that big ballpark in the Coliseum and when you go pitch on the road?
Yeah, it's something where I think, obviously we all know that pitching in Oakland is a pitcher's park, but I don't think the mindset changes for us. We've had a couple bad breaks on the road, and it could be completely different, but at the same time, I think it's the same. Obviously the ball's flying here a little bit more than it would in Oakland, and you pitch a little different.
Second and third for the Rangers with 1 out, as Nelson Cruz was caught in the rundown, tagged out by Suzuki. Craig Gentry fouls off the first pitch. 0-1. Jared, a young staff with Colon and McCarthy on the disabled list. Rookies have 18 wins. That leads all of baseball. And the A's second in the American League in earned run average. So I'm sure you and your fellow starters take some pride in those numbers.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's something that we've really came together, and we want to one up each other every time out. And obviously we give a lot of credit to our catchers, and Kurt Young, Bo Mel, those guys are teaching us a lot, and we've learned a lot more than just pitching, the scouting reports and how to prepare every 5th day.
Gentry awaiting the 0-1 from Malone. And the fastball missing inside. 1-1. Any big plans during the All-Star break, Jared?
Relax, refresh, and recharge. It's something. It's a long season. I want to be able to be as ready as I can in the second half and pitch as many innings as they want me to, and I'm capable of.
Well, we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes. Congratulations on your success, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Jared Parker from the Oakland A's dugout. Record of 4-3 this season. 23-year-old right-hander who has bounced back following the Tommy John surgery 2 years ago. Grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Mr. Baseball in Indiana back in 2007. Some pretty good company along with Doc Gooden.
Yeah, I think going back, I think maybe Scott Rowland. It's from Indiana, but I think of all these young pitchers, I think Parker may have the highest ceiling of this group. They've got a lot of good ones.
1-2 to Gentry. And the catch is made by Hicks. He climbs the ladder and takes a base hit and an RBI away from Craig Gentry, who had the big blow for the Rangers last night. The bases loaded triple in the 8th.
Yeah, we talk about timing for a hitter. How about timing for a fielder? Perfectly timed leap right here. If he jumps too soon, that ball's over his glove. Ball wasn't hit especially hard. Good read off the bat. Perfect timing on the leap.
So now 2 away for Kinsler, who has struck out twice. Second and third, 2 outs. Rangers had first and third with nobody out. Ball hit back to the box by Torrealba. Cruz caught in the rundown between third and home. Napoli the runner on third. Torrealba takes his lead off second. Kinsler fouls it off to the left side. Now 1-1. A's lead 2-1, 2 outs, bottom of the fifth inning here in Arlington on Baseball Night in America. Tommy Milone, record of 8-5 this season. Made 5 starts for the Nationals last year. 10th round pick by Washington in 2008 out of USC. Kinsler with a fluke. Base hit into shallow left. 2-run score. Rangers lead 3-2.
Well, Kenny, it sounded like he broke his bat on this pitch. We had seen the first 2 times up, then Milone got him out looking at strike 3 fastballs inside. This at bat, he went back inside with the fastball, enough to jam him a little bit, break the bat. Ball was up a little bit, allowing Kinsler to get on top of it. Keeps his hands inside. Bat died a hero, 2 runs. Ball finding grass in the outfield.
RBIs number 39 and 40 for Ian Kinsler this season. Elvis Andrus 1 for 2, doubled his last time up. Kinsler back in. He has 15 steals this year in 20 attempts.
Yeah, and you saw that move there from Tommy Milone. He's got 3 pickoffs this year. He can shut down a running game, not just quick to the plate, very crafty with his move over to first base.
His team's actually 1 and 2 in the American League in steals.
Yeah, I don't see this as a stolen base situation for Texas because he is tough to run on. But the way Andrews handles the bat and the way Milone is around the place, this is one matchup where Ron Washington could play hit and run. This is a count where Ron Washington likes to start a runner at 1-1. Sorry, I was 2-0. He missed with that last pitch. I got to give Andrews a swing here at 2-0. See Milone keeping an eye on Kinsler. Knows something could be in play. You know, Ron Washington talked about it. He's the one piece on this chessboard, Elvis Andrus, where you can do a lot of things with him. Bunt, hit and run.
On the ground for the shortstop. Hicks pokes it. Second error of the inning committed by the A's. After Hicks made the tremendous play moments ago to retire Craig Gentry.
You know, once again, looked at the ball, maybe just jumped up a little bit at the end. See Hicks laying back on the ball, bounces that extra time. He's trying to play a longer hop. Once again, off the heel of the glove. We've seen Inge similarly on the ball to third base. We've seen Johnny Gomes in left field kind of kick a ball to allow Cruz to get from first to third on a base hit to left field. And this is especially a dangerous error because it brings Josh Hamilton to the plate.
Hamilton 0 for 2. Two on, 2 out. 2 runs in this inning for the Texas Rangers. First pitch to Hamilton way inside. Ball 1. crisp in center field. Watches it. 3-run home run. Josh Hamilton, his 25th of the season. It's now a 6-2 Texas lead.
Give this team extra outs. Certainly playing with fire. They've given the Rangers 5 outs in this inning, and they have paid for it.
So a happy final day during the month of June for Josh Hamilton.
He's flipped the calendar already. Here's the pitch. Looked like a cutter left up. Wanted to get it away. Didn't get it quite away enough to Josh Hamilton. I talked about Hamilton loves to swing early in the count. First 2 pitches of the at-bat, he hits 409. Wow. After that, 261. So maybe you should just flip 2 balls up there to get to the 3rd pitch.
Five runs in the inning for the Rangers. As Tom mentioned, given 5 outs. A's have committed 2 errors. One behind Jose Bautista of the Blue Jays, who has hit 14 this month.
Well, that's a guy I'd like to see in the home run derby, Jose Bautista. See Brian Fuentes up in the bullpen.
Two to Beltre, and he's retired for the first time tonight by Malone, but the damage has been done. 5 runs in the inning. Josh Hamilton goes deep, his 25th of the season. 6-2 Rangers. Sponsored by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Rangers score 5 in the bottom of the 5th inning. now lead the A's 6-2. As Yoenis Cespedes leads off for Oakland against 21-year-old Martin Perez in his first major league start. And Perez just threw his 100th pitch of the night. Number 101, missing inside, ball 2.
Yeah, they'll keep a close eye on him this inning. Obviously, having the cushion now will help to give him a little more rope.
Right field, long run for Cruz. He reaches up, and then he drops the ball. So Cespedes on its second, leading off the 6th inning for the A's.
Nearly a great catch there. Just the ball is working away from him the entire time. He gets there, just doesn't stick.
Now Torrealba out to the mound for a visit with Perez.
Johnny Gomes still trying to solve Martin Perez, who's got him out the same way twice in this game, both times with changeups. And watch the location. That ball's up for a changeup, and that ball's up. That tells me is that he is disguising the pitches very well with his arm speed. Johan Santana amazes me because he can throw so many changeups and get swings and misses of them that are right down the middle, because of the deception of the same arm speed on the fastball.
Center field, Craig Gentry is under it. 1 away. Martin Perez, the youngest starting pitcher for the Texas Rangers in 21 years, since Hector Fajardo started a game against the Twins back in '91. Perez goes 5 1/3 and will leave with a 6-2 lead in his first major league start. Moments ago, 21. Martin Perez saluting the crowd as he exits after 5 1/3 in his first Major League start.
Got to feel good about it. Great ovation there. He's blowing a bubble walking off the field, staying Joe cool right to the very end. But there, you can see why the Rangers are so high on this young left-hander. Showed a terrific changeup, showed velocity, got back to his fastball later in the game here. And a good breaking ball. He didn't have to use that breaking ball too much tonight.
Replaced by the 36-year-old right-hander Yoshinori Tateyama, who was recalled yesterday when the Rangers placed Mark Lowe on the disabled list. It's his second stint with Texas this season. 7 appearances earlier as Carter takes strike 1. Cespedes a leadoff double. Gomes flat out to the center fielder Gentry. And now it's Carter, who has 2 extra base hits tonight. A home run in the second, a double in the fourth. He has scored both Oakland runs. 0-2.
Seeing a completely different look right here from the right-hander now after Perez. That's his best bullet there, 87-mile-an-hour fastball, but he can pitch off of that because of this deception in the delivery. And that first pitch you saw is his out pitch, the sweeping slider.
Chris Carter facing Yoshinori Tateyama. They were both called up yesterday by their respective clubs. Missing low and inside, now 2-2.
We talked about the power of Carter. He's a guy who's hit as many as 39 home runs in a minor league season. I think if he shows Bob Melvin has good at bats against right-handers, such as the one right here, he can buy himself more time.
Payoff pitch to Carter, called strike 3.
Good comeback action on this fastball here. Kind of backdoor the way it runs back over the plate. You see why he's so tough on right-handed hitters. Hides the ball extremely well. Well executed pitch.
So 2 away for Brandon Inge, who drove in the A's second run his last time up back in the 4th inning.
We talked about the Rangers dipping into their inventory of pitching based on 6 injuries to pitchers in the last 4 or 5 weeks. They've had a chance to really get some guys to the major leagues. Justin Grimm won his major league debut. Team Perez in line here. You're talking about half the opening day staff right here.
Holland expected back soon.
He's working his way back. Ogando, a lot of players in that clubhouse believe, is the real key guy for them. A real weapon out of the bullpen because he pitches multiple innings. Perez, the 10th different starter used by the Rangers this year. Last year when they went to the World Series, needed only 7.
Wow. Michael Kirkman, left-hander in the Rangers pen.
At last count, Kenny, I had 112 pitchers on the DL right now. Wow. 64% of all players in the DL are pitchers. Texas and Oakland with 6 apiece. The Yankees have the most with 9. San Diego, Boston, and Toronto with 7. So both these two teams right here been hurt with injuries to the pitching staff. Rangers doing a good job withstanding them.
2-2 to Inge, and he is down on strikes. Tatiana faced 2 batters, struck them both out. Middle of the 6th, 6-2 Rangers.
Include the Mets and Dodgers in LA. Ike Davis is 11th of the year, over half that total coming in his last 2.5 weeks. Have the Mets perhaps headed for their 4th straight win. Arizona and Milwaukee. Wade Miley started play with one of the NL's lowest road ERAs, but it's going up tonight. No thanks to Ryan Braun. 2nd of the night, 8-0 Brewers in the 5th. Back to Kenny and Tom in Arlington.
All right, thanks, Matt. Rangers leading the A's 6-2. Texas scoring 5 unearned runs in the 5th inning.
Yeah, it happened quickly. That's why you got to be careful when you make a run for one of those 2-foot-long hot dogs here. Rangers can put up 5 in a heartbeat. You don't want to be stuck in line.
2 errors committed by the A's, one by the third baseman Inge, the other by the shortstop Hicks. Ian Kinsler with a 2-run single. 2 batters later, Josh Hamilton, a 3-run shot, his 25th of the season. Here's Michael Young, the only Ranger who did not bat in the 5th inning when Texas sent 8 men to the plate. Brian Fuentes on in relief of Tommy Milone, who allowed only 1 earned run over 5 innings, but leaves trailing 6-2.
Bob Melvin has been trying to get Fuentes into a game. He had a little ankle injury and wanted to make sure they got him into a low leverage spot before they pushed him deeper into a game. The problem is they've had very few low leverage spots up until now. 9 straight games the Oakland Athletics have played in which the last pitch was thrown with the score tied or a 1-run lead. 9 straight games literally down to the last pitch.
2 1-run losses in this series here at Arlington.
And they've lost an Oakland record 7 consecutive times in 1-run games. And what Bob Melvin told us, we will be a better team for this. Tough to live with when you're going through these episodes of one pitch, one hit being the difference between winning and losing night after night. But as he said, with a young team, this will make you better quickly when you go through those kind of fires.
Young takes ball 4, so the leadoff man is on for the third straight inning for the Rangers. We take you back to an earlier Nelson Cruz at bat. Sounds of the game with home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy wearing the microphone for us tonight.
Some guys would have went home for a week. Just kind of got the very top of my mask, you know. That's where my head is the hardest.
Nice that Phil is able to make light of the situation.
He took that one pretty good.
So with Cruz at the plate here in the 6th inning, called strike, 0-1. Cruz reached on the in error leading off the 5th and would be caught in a rundown between third and home, but stayed in that rundown long enough to allow the Rangers to come out of it with runners on second and third.
That's a great point. He did a very good job extending that rundown to move both runners up. What we're seeing now out of Brian Fuentes is just the rust. He's pitched once in the last 14 games. Just trying to find the right arm slot here.
Fuentes, a 4-time All-Star. With 204 career saves on his resume. Career high 48 with the Angels back in 09. Young, the runner on first. As Fuentes throws over off the glove of Carter. Young to second.
Ball just seemed to handcuff Carter a little bit. It's to his glove side and down. Like maybe he threw a cutter over there to first base. He's tough to hit, sometimes tough to catch with that funky delivery.
Error charge to Carter. Third error committed by the A's in this game. As Cruz flies out to Crisp in center. And Young moves to third. Well, All-Star Game festivities begin tomorrow with the selection show on TBS. Then on July 9th, don't miss the Home Run Derby on ESPN. And on Tuesday, July 10th, see the players arrive on the Red Carpet Show on MLB Network, followed by the 2012 All-Star Game. Right here on Fox with Joe Buck and Tim McCarver, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. One out, runner on third. Napoli takes ball 1. Singleton scored his last time up.
See, Bob Melvin's going to play it about halfway here, not rolling that up all the way in on the infield, but anything directly hit at an infielder gives them the option of going home if it's hit hard enough.
Fastball from Fuentes missing inside to Napoli. 2-0. Former battery mates with the Angels. Brian Fuentes and Mike Napoli facing one another here in Arlington tonight.
Wouldn't surprise me if like Napoli just sits on something up here on a 3-0 count. Trying to drive the ball into the outfield, get the runner in from third.
3-1 on Napoli. Rangers lead 6-2. They scored 5 unearned runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Hayes committed 2 errors in the inning. Kinsler a 2-run single. Hamilton a 3-run home run. Payoff pitch from Fuentes to Napoli, strikes him out. So now 2 away. We take you back to our Twitter poll question. We chatted with 11-game winner Matt Harrison of the Rangers earlier, and we asked you to vote via Twitter. Should Harrison start for the American League of the All-Star game? A resounding 81% say yes, he should. How many times did you vote, Tom?
I don't know. Maybe he's got a big family, though, huh? I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of support, not just from Ranger fans, but all around baseball. He's definitely in the mix to get that starting assignment.
It also helps when your manager will be piloting the American League club in Kansas City.
He's got connections, as they say.
Left field. Gomes coming in, makes the catch. And Young is stranded on third. We'll return after these messages from your local station. To Baseball Night in America, presented by Budweiser from Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, Texas. Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci, and our entire crew. Rangers lead the A's 6-2. Top of the 7th inning. First pitch from Yoshinori Tateyama to Brandon Hicks. Here's a called strike, 0-1. Hicks grounded to third and walked his last time up. 21-year-old Martin Perez in his first major league start for the Rangers, left with a 6-2 lead. Tateyama struck out both batters he faced in the 6th. So, Tom, getting back to Harrison, and our Twitter poll, 81% say yes, he should start for the American League. If not Harrison, then who are your other candidates?
Well, I think Justin Verlander is always in the mix, and he's the first guy that comes to mind. Interesting, I would throw you Darvish in there as well, although he came out and said yesterday, you know what, I'm not deserving of starting the All-Star game. He said, I think it's a reaction to all the expectations and hype that I had coming into this season, and I've walked too many batters. So I think he will defer to his teammate, Matt Harrison. But I think Verlander's a guy who's always in the mix, and his numbers are there again this year.
David Price with 11 wins. Tied for the league lead with Harrison. Hicks sends this one into left field. Hamilton moving to his right. Makes the catch in fair territory for out number one. Time now for the Just for Men Auto Stop Foolproof Stat. There he is, Martin Perez, 21 years of age, out of Venezuela, 5th year in the Rangers organization. 5 1/3 in his first career start. 5 strikeouts. Allowed 2 runs on 6 hits. Just as the Rangers can count on Perez, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results. Kurt Suzuki 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch, center field, Craig Gentry. 2 away.
And the Rangers did something that I really like. I think it's a classy move for Martin Perez's first start. They flew in the scout who signed him. Rafik Saab saw him in Venezuela at the age of 16. Great classy gesture to bring him in to watch a kid that he saw at 16 make his first major league start at 21.
You're right, Tom. Very classy move by the Rangers. As Ron Washington goes to the bullpen once again for Michael Kirkman. Five-year-old left-hander Michael Kirkman making his 5th appearance, and he recently changed his uniform number, Tom.
Yeah, you see the 50 right there. He did have number 44, but then along came Roy Oswalt. He's got a few more service days in the major league, so goodbye 44 and hello 50.
So Kirkman pitching with his new number, 2 outs. Base is empty here in the top of the 7th inning. And Coco Crisp on the first pitch flies out to the right fielder Cruz, and the A's are retired. It is 7th inning stretch time here in Arlington. Sponsored by Share Everything. It's the plan that revolves around only you. Only from Verizon. Middle of the 7th inning here in Arlington. Rangers with a 6-2 lead. Second from the left, Michael Young, a 7-time All-Star. And he has had some big hits in All-Star games. 2006 in Pittsburgh with 2 outs in the ninth, a 2-run triple. While closer Trevor Hoffman, who was named the game's MVP. And then 2 years later at the old Yankee Stadium, sacrifice fly Tom in the bottom of the 15th inning, scoring Justin Morneau with the winning run. American League wins it 4-3.
And you see one of the first ones out there to greet him, Derek Jeter. The Yankees wound up with home field advantage in the World Series and clinched on their home field.
Stars align for the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Games. The best of the American League take on the National League's top players. Don't miss the action. Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Right here on Fox. So Michael Young, a 2-time All-Star hero. Some of the heroes today, Chris Carter with his second home run in as many days. Adrian Beltre tied the score for the Rangers. And then in the 5th, 2 Oakland errors. Rangers would score 5 unearned runs. Hamilton, a big play, a 3-run shot.
Gave them 5 outs, capitalized, gave support behind Martin Perez, who I thought pitched a great game. Only 1 walk with 5 punch-outs.
In line for the win in his first Major League start. 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors committed by the A's. 6 runs on 6 hits. How about the Rangers, Tom? Last night, they scored 4 runs on 4 hits. Tonight, 6 runs on 6 hits so far.
Certainly making the most of their opportunities. You know, they've really taken advantage of the schedule as well. They've had a stretch here the last 3 weeks playing nothing but losing teams over 19 straight games.
Rangers have won their last 6 series. Craig Gentry leading off here in the 7th. 49 wins for the Rangers. They have never been the first team to 50 wins in Major League Baseball in franchise history.
It's just remarkable. I mean, I thought coming out of the gate in April with that fast start, they were the most complete team in baseball. Scuffled a little bit in May. The injuries, though, have not set them behind. And I think it's because they have so many different ways that they can beat you. We talked about their base running. The home run ball is always in play with them. And the pitching, once again, even with the injuries, to me, is what it's all about with the Texas Rangers.
2-0 to Gentry. Fuentes missing inside, ball 3. Over the last 30 years, the first team in all of baseball to 50 wins has missed the playoffs only 6 times. 6 times in the last 30 years. And this year we have expanded playoffs. And the Rangers just 1 win away from that 50 mark.
So you're telling me you like their chances?
I would think so.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I agree with you, but I do think the Los Angeles Angels are not going away. You know, Texas had that 9-game lead early, and people wanted to say the division was over. They're too good of a team to bury that early.
Gentry lays down the bunt. You talked about his speed earlier, and he beats this one out easily. So the leadoff man is on once again for the 4th straight inning for the Rangers as we go to Matt Vasgersian at the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Kenny, Verducci's going to love this one. Since switch hitting splits were first compiled in 1974, no player's first 2 major league hits had been home runs from each side of the plate until today. San Diego's Yasmani Grandal with a little baseball history in Denver. Back to you guys in Arlington.
Thanks, Matt. Tom, I want you to say that 10 times quickly. Switch hitting splits.
I was just going to ask Matt to say it again. That is a great nugget, though. Anytime you do something in this game that has not been done before, I don't care what it is, it's worth paying attention to.
Ian Kinsler drove in 2 runs his last time up during that 5-run 5th inning for the Texas Rangers. You mentioned the Angels coming into play today. They were unable to gain any ground on the Rangers. Both teams 18-9, the Rangers and Angels, during the month of June.
Yeah, you could say that's frustrating, but I think for the Angels, it's more about the way they're playing. They're happy with the way they're playing. Ever since Mike Trout came up and Ernesto Frieri went in the bullpen, they've been a completely different team. I think this is a race all year, Kenny, and I think with the second wild card, it forces teams now to play hard all the way through September. In other words, there's a real premium on finishing first now. In the old days, you'd say, well, we don't care whether we finish first or get the wild card as long as we're in the postseason. Well, now if you're the wild card, you face that first round knockout game, win or go home. No one wants to be in that game. Much rather win the division. So I think it puts a premium on finishing first, and you'll see teams playing hard down the stretch.
I agree. Much rather play the best of 7 than a one-game playoff. But it should be exciting down the stretch. You think back to that final night of the regular season last year.
Well, I think we have a good shot of something like that again, maybe not involving so many teams, but with the second wild card, the possibilities of close races and especially ties at game 162 come into play. I think you'll see a tiebreaker game 163.
Gentry on the move. Kinsler sends it into left field, and the catch is made by Gomes, so Gentry will head back to first.
And then the third night, guaranteed 2 win-or-go-home games for those wild card knockout games. So you might be looking at October 3rd, 4th, and 5th each night seeing win-or-go-home baseball games. What a way to start the postseason.
And the Rangers, of course, have gone deep into the postseason each of the last 2 years. Losing in the World Series 2010 to San Francisco, and then 2011 to the St. Louis Cardinals. Elvis Andrus 1 for 3, reached on an error his last time up back in the 5th. Pitch out, but Gentry not going anywhere. The last team to lose 2 straight World Series and then win it the 3rd year, the 1923 Yankees.
It's a few years ago, Kenny. It tells you how difficult it is just to get back there a 3rd straight time.
And those Yankees faced the same team, the New York Giants, all 3 years. They lost to them in 1921 and 22, and then turned the tables in 23.
Well, it's interesting. We talked to Ron Washington about, obviously, the narrative in spring training was, my goodness, how are the Texas Rangers going to recover from a World Series in which they were twice 1 strike away from winning the first World Championship in franchise history? And I'll admit, it made for a nice story, a nice angle in the early days of spring training, but for Ron Washington, he would have none of it. New season, turn the page quickly, and he's got, I think, a great clubhouse here.
Ron, very familiar to the fans of the Bay Area, spent 11 seasons as a coach with the A's. Third base coach his last 10 years in Oakland. Up the middle, base hit into center field for Andrus. So the Rangers threatening here in the 7th with 2 on and only 1 out.
Now batting, left fielder, Josh Hamilton.
Bob Melvin will make a move to the bullpen for Jordan Norberto. So that is all for Brian Fuentes with 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. And the Rangers out on top, 6-2, looking to add to their lead. Norberto in to face Josh Hamilton. With 2 on, only 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, Rangers leading 6-2. Hamilton, a 3-run home run his last time up in game number 79 for the Rangers as we take you back to the 5th inning. So Hamilton becoming the fastest Ranger ever to 25 home runs. Previously, Pudge Rodriguez back in 2000 hit his 25th in the 80th Rangers game. So Hamilton does it 1 game earlier than Pudge.
Halfway to 50. You're talking about a guy who came into this game hitting .316. The list of left-handed hitters who've hit 50 home runs and had a batting average that high, well, there's only 3.
Hamilton with a base hit into left field. Coming home to score is Gentry. And the Rangers now lead 7-2. 4th run batted in tonight's game. Major League leading 73rd of the season for Josh Hamilton.
And that's why he's the kind of guy who can win a batting title as well as a home run title. Left-handed pitcher comes in, stays on the pitch, hits it the other way. So I left you hanging there, Kenny, on my left-handed hitters who've hit 50 home runs and hit .316. With a swing like that on a pitch away, going the other way, you realize that's no fluke, hitting over 300. Luis Gonzalez and Barry Bonds, both in 2001. A guy named Babe Ruth did it 4 times.
Wow.
That's it.
That is it.
It's a rare combination to hit at a very high average and those kind of numbers in terms of the power.
Beltre takes 0-2. Still only 1 out, 2 on, 1 run in. Beltre went deep back in the 2nd inning, tying the game at 1. Long foul off to the right side. So the Rangers, who lead the league in batting average, runs, hits, 3rd in home runs, trailing only the Yankees and the Blue Jays, have scored 7 tonight on 9 base hits and now lead the A's 7-2 after winning 1-run games each of the last 2 nights. Rangers looking to win their 5th straight. They've won 16 of their last 20. Despite, as we've talked about throughout the telecast, 6 pitchers on the disabled list.
Yeah, you mentioned all those categories they lead the league in. One thing I like to look at, which they're far ahead, is run differential. Came into this game outscoring their opponents by 97 runs. Nobody else in baseball close to the Texas Rangers in that regard. That tells you they only score a lot of runs, they give up few.
Earlier this season, another look at Nolan Ryan, you referred to this Rangers club as potentially the best team since the '98 Yankees. Do you still stand by that statement?
I do. I think the potential certainly is there. I mean, they're not even whole, as we know, as we mentioned, those injuries to the pitchers.
Hits to second. Out to first. Caught off the bag. So the Rangers with runners on the corners, now 2 out.
To me, it's all about health, Kenny. I think they can be a great team when they're fully healthy.
Michael Young, one of the key members of this Ranger ball club. A look at his all-time ranks in franchise history. Now in his 12th season, a 7-time All-Star. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Young, first pitch. Left field, Johnny Gomes has it. Rangers and a run on 3 base hits through 7. Roberto shaking his head, 7-2 Texas. baseball night in America, presented by Budweiser. As we move to the 8th inning here in Arlington, Kenny Albert, Tom Verducci. 7-2 lead for the Rangers as Jamal Weeks leads off for Oakland. 1 for 3 in the game tonight. Michael Kirkman retired the only batter he faced on 1 pitch in the 7th inning as Coco Crisp fly to right. Weeks takes the fastball for strike 1. Off the glove of Andrews. So Weeks is on, leading off the 8th for the A's. Well, this MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Weeks reaches on the error charged to Andrews, his 9th of the season, on the hard grounder. So now it's Reddick, who is 1 for 3, doubled back in the 1st inning. The A's, Tom, have not had a position player represent them in the All-Star game since Ramon Hernandez back in 2003. 9 years ago, and you would think Reddick would be one of the A's under consideration by manager Ron Washington.
He's had a great year. There's no question that he has to be considered. When Cespedes would also be in that category, perhaps has missed too many games, but certainly I think he's a guy Ron Washington would look at. But you're absolutely right about Reddick. I mean, I'm a little bit surprised by the power numbers, the fact that he has settled in quickly as a number 3 hitter in this lineup. Oakland knew what they were doing when they asked for Reddick in that Homer Bailey trade with Boston.
Now, when the All-Star rosters are put together, a lot of times it is not the best player on a team, but by position. And who do you need to fill out the roster? And Ryan Cook could wind up in Kansas City.
Another new acquisition. Yeah, I mean, you're right. There are limitations. Every team needs to be represented. There's the fan vote. There's the player vote. The manager actually is left with very few choices and typically needs to fill out a pitching staff rather than position players. So it is a numbers game.
So from teams that do not have a player voted in as a starter or voted in by the players, oftentimes the manager must add, as you said, more pitchers than position players.
And I think with Josh Reddick, we talked about the home park in Oakland being a pitcher's ballpark and how that favors the ERAs for the Oakland pitchers at home. How about this guy's power numbers in that ballpark? Very impressive. In the last 17 years, there's only been one Oakland outfielder to make the All-Star team, Ben Grieve. So I think his numbers are all the more impressive considering the home park.
Reddick draws a base on balls, so the A's now with 2 on and nobody out. Trailing by 5 with Cespedes stepping to the plate. Cespedes 1 for 3, doubled back in the 6th inning.
I think Kirkman's got to be really careful here first pitch with Cespedes. Could become a 2-run game pretty quickly.
Fastball in for strike 1.
A little cut on that pitch. We have not seen Rangers throw a first pitch fastball to Cespedes yet tonight.
Tanner Shepard's first career save for the Rangers last night. Up and throwing in the Texas pen.
We talked to Bob Melvin about this. It seemed like early in the season, pitchers wanted to attack Cespedes. Slider, slider, slider. And he showed he could hit the slider. Went to the fastball, and he showed he can hit the fastball as well. And he said actually the pitchers have adjusted a couple of times already on Cespedes. Covers the plate extremely well.
Missing inside, now 2-1.
He's got one of the great swings in baseball, Kenny. Cespedes has great rotation on his swing. Really, it's a max effort kind of swing. In fact, Bob Melvin talked about batting practice. He loves to put on a show so much they had to tell him, hey, tone it down. Now, we got 162 games here. Over in Cuba, they play about 90. Got to pace yourself. It left nothing on that swing right there. Watch this swing and the recoil from all the force in this swing. Wow. When your back hip becomes your front hip, that means you're getting through the baseball.
2-2 on Cespedes. 2 on, nobody out, top of the 8th inning. And Cespedes tries this one to deep center. Gentry is under it, makes the catch on the warning track for out number 1, and both runners advance.
Well, I think Kirkman got away with a pitch there. I consider Cespedes a great high fastball hitter, similar to Albert Pujols. And here you see Kirkman being careful. We saw the cutter first pitch, and here fastball inside. A little off speed right there up. Here's the pitch. Fastball up. I think Cespedes got his pitch there and just missed it. I think he's a much better high ball hitter than low ball hitter. Got the pitch that he wanted to the deepest part of the ballpark.
So now 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for Johnny Gomes. 0 for 3, struck out twice. Strike 1.
It's another guy who can lose the baseball in a hurry, especially anything hard on the inside part of the plate. Extreme pull hitter.
Shallow center, Gentry. 2 away. And heading back to 3rd after thinking about tagging his Weeks.
Yeah, just no way you can take a chance down 5 there, but you can't influence the throw. Make sure you draw a throw. Never know what can happen. I think he realized that ball just wasn't deep enough, especially given inning score situation. Have to be absolutely sure you could score on that ball.
So with 2 outs, here's Carter. Homer to the 2nd, doubled and scored in the 4th. And takes the fastball from Kirkman for a called strike, 0-1. We've talked about Carter's power numbers in the minor leagues, Tom. 182 career home runs for Chris Carter, and down to the minors over the last 8 seasons. The bloop is caught by the second baseman Kinsler. The A's strand 2 in the 8th. Answer is sponsored by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of Major League Baseball. And by Samsung, the next big thing is here. Our game summary. Martin Perez, first career start, left with a 6-2 lead. Josh Hamilton, a 3-run shot in the 5th when the Rangers scored 5 unearned runs thanks to a pair of Oakland errors. Nelson Cruz leading off here in the bottom of the 8th inning against Jordan Norberto. Cruz 0 for 3, reached on an error back in the 5th inning. A's led this game 1-0 and 2-1. The big inning, the bottom of the 5th. Cruz pops it into right center. Catch is made by Coco Crisp for out number 1. Great job by our entire crew tonight here in Arlington, led by producer Kara Langley McDermott, director Jonathan Evans, associate director Kathy Hunt, broadcast associate returning to the state of Texas, Gilbert Cepeda. The executive producers of the pregame show, Don Bowie and Mike Santini. Producer is Ethan Kleinberg. The director is Mark Deaver. And Marty Aronoff punching the numbers for us here in the broadcast booth. Mike Napoli with 1 out. Napoli 1 for 3, singled and scored back in the 5th inning. Yet another sellout crowd, Tom. 24th sellout of the season in 41 home games. 46,711. Only the Philadelphia Phillies have a higher average attendance than the Texas Rangers.
It's remarkable, and it's not just about the attendance. Obviously, that's terrific, but I think it's about the atmosphere and the energy in this ballpark. This team truly has a home field advantage. These fans are very knowledgeable, get into the game. You see still really packed as it normally is here through 9 innings. These fans stay. Very impressive that they've turned Dallas and the Arlington area into a baseball town.
Yu Darvish t-shirt night tonight here at the ballpark.
Did you get yours?
I did not, and I have not yet received my Eric Karros bobblehead. Our Fox colleague Thursday night at Dodger Stadium, honored with his very own bobblehead.
Those are some good-looking shirts right there.
Towering pop-up finally comes down into the glove of Weeks, so Napoli is retired.
Joe Nathan checking out the view.
Fox back in Arlington next week with the Twins in town on Baseball Night in America.
Joe Nathan's been a hard-working man these days. He was not available last night just to give a day off. Had worked 3 straight days with a total of 80 pitches. It's like working as a starter.
It's a fair ball into the right field corner. Extra bases for your Torrealba. And Joe Nathan very proud of his alma mater, Stony Brook, as they reach the College World Series. He has donated a lot of time and money to the Stony Brook program since becoming a major league pitcher.
He's been a big part of their turnaround. From a small program to a top Division I program. They now play at Joe Nathan Field. You take a walk around the Rangers clubhouse, you see a lot of Stony Brook hats. He made sure he passed them out while the Seawolves made their run to Omaha.
And for those viewers who have no idea where Stony Brook is located, it's towards the eastern end of Long Island. Greg Gentry takes a call strike. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Torrealba the runner on second, with the Rangers leading the A's 7-2. Nothing in 2 on Gentry. Play Fox Baseball Hot Streak and win cash prizes. It's as easy as picking a player, picking a stat, and starting a hot streak. Plus, pick 15 straight correctly and win $15 in Fox Sports shopping bucks. Log on to foxsports.com/fantasy and start your streak today. Gentry down on strikes. Do you think we can use Fox Sports shopping bucks for Caro's bobblehead?
That and the Darvish t-shirt.
We head to the 9th. 7-2 Texas. Michael Kirkman will try and close things out for the Texas Rangers, who lead the Oakland A's 7-2. Brandon Inge leading off, top of the 9th inning. Inge drove in a run back in the 4th, giving the A's a 2-1 lead, but then the Rangers would score 5 in the bottom of the 5th inning. All 5 runs unearned. Martin Perez, the 21-year-old left-hander, in line for the win in his first major league start. Allowed 2 runs on 6 hits and 5 1/3, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and 1 home run off the bat of Chris Carter back in the 2nd inning.
Very impressive start by Perez. And we talked about his numbers in the minor leagues. It wasn't as if he was blowing people away. He's made 25 starts in AAA the last couple of years with an ERA over 5. But it really did seem like the last 2-3 starts he turned a corner. Much more efficient with his pitches. Change up a dynamic pitch, as we saw tonight. It really helps as an organization when you have Greg Maddux to go to as your troubleshooter. Greg Maddux is not a kind of guy who just takes a title and cashes the check twice a month. He's out there on the road visiting all these minor league pitchers. What better mentor to have?
One away as Inge strikes out. Greg Maddux, brother, of course, of pitching coach Mike Maddux. His official title, special assistant to the general manager. It's going to take hours and hours to wipe that smile off the face of Martin Perez. It's a good thing he'll have that extra second tonight.
He'll enjoy every second of that second.
Yes, he will.
But really a best case scenario for Perez and for Ron Washington, because we talked about the bullpen, how much Nathan has been used, the injuries, Mark Lowe going on the DL. A game where you really didn't have to tax your bullpen for a second straight night. Get everybody back to square one, rested and ready.
Ten-game winner Yu Darvish takes the mound for the Rangers tomorrow. He is 7-0 here at home this season. Fourth in the league in strikeouts.
We talked about the energy in this place. It goes up a couple of notches when Yu Darvish is on the mound. Those huge chants when he gets 2 strikes on a batter. He's a real drawing card.
Right field, Nelson Cruz. Rangers 1 out away from win number 50. Time now for the Burger King smooth play of the game. We take you back to the 5th inning.
Yeah, we talked about it. You give Texas 1 extra out, never mind 2. They will make you pay. Josh Hamilton took care of that with a 3-run home run.
His 25th of the season. Drove in another run in the 7th. Leads the majors with 73 runs batted in. Fans on their feet here in Arlington as Kurt Suzuki steps in with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. And the Rangers leading 7-2. From Kirkman, foul back to the screen, 0-2 on Suzuki. And now the sellout crowd gets even louder. The 1-2 from Kirkman, and Suzuki got a piece of it.
It'll be a great feeling right there. Martin Perez, first major league start. To pitch well in this ballpark, sold out, 21 years old.
Still smiling.
I'd say the young man earned himself another start. Justin Grimmett pitched well his first start, roughed up a little bit the next start, and Ron Washington had a choice. Grimm or Perez to start this game. He went with Perez essentially because he liked the lefty against the Oakland lineup.
Another foul. Pitch number 8 of this at-bat upcoming from Kirkman to Suzuki. Popped into right. Cruz is under it. And 21-year-old Martin Perez can celebrate a victory in his first Major League start. The Texas